Guys, we had to take a little detour, take a little field trip at the beginning of this to get... I'm so freaking excited. You don't even understand. That was the most cruel cliffhanger I've ever read in my life, besides maybe the one that happened at the end of Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. But yeah, that was just cruel for her to do to us and then just make us wait. And now this Barnes & Noble exclusive sticker won't come off. Things are great. But anyway, yep, I'm gonna be reading this in this video, no questions asked, and you're gonna see my thoughts and my reactions, spoiler free of course, because I'm not mean like that. So don't you fret, you are going to get all the goods, all the good stuff. Oh my gosh, I hate filming in parking lots because I feel like everyone is judging me. There's a new Barnes & Noble, and so it's like not as crowded, and so I was like so happy that I was able to come to a place that wasn't like completely hectic. Yeah, so I'm happy about that, but let's get right to reading, I guess. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. So in this one, I kind of been planning to just have a vlog, just a reading vlog. And I love watching those kinds of videos, and this is my first time actually filming one of them because I don't really have any particular reading plans besides I am going to be getting through my buddy read of House of Flame and Shadow, which just came out a couple days ago, and I have been buddy reading it with my friend. So, so far I am 81 pages in, and it's over 800 pages. So that's fun, but I'm going to be getting through that in this vlog, and then I have other reading plans as well. So I just finished One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and I went out and bought the sequel because I loved that book so much. You can check it out in my last video that I put up. But yeah, I absolutely love this series so far, and there was a huge cliffhanger at the end of the last book, and so I really want to find out what's gonna happen. And it's also nice that it's a duology, and so it'll be nice to kind of like finish up that series. And then I also have Killer Instinct and The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes because I read both the first books of these series and loved them both and want to continue them. So I have those reading plans as well. So not to say that I'm going to finish all of these in this vlog, but these are my reading plans. And so yeah, just follow along with me this week as I read and just enter into all these different worlds. So please enjoy. Oh my goodness, guys, this book is crazy. So much is happening. There's so many POVs. That is such a staple of the Crescent City books because there's so many characters, and now there's even more. Just every book, there's more characters. And I don't want to spoil the rest of the books, so I won't say anything else than that, but that's just, there's so much happening. Everything is happening right now. There's one POV that I am a little more invested in than the other ones, but I'm still really invested in the other ones, and so every time that something new happens, there's always something going on, bro. It's a lot to keep track of. I can totally see like one of those videos being made of like a billboard with like all the red thread and stuff. Like there's so much happening, and like usually the Crescent City books follow a kind of mystery, so it kind of feels a little more like, you know, Bryce is figuring something out, like she's trying to uncover some history or the reason behind something, or like some government corruption, I don't know, like something along those lines. And so there's always like so many details and stuff. I could totally see someone making one of those videos trying to track all the people, all the places that they're at, and all the things that they're discovering, because they're all discovering different things. And then there's like some point in the book where they usually like come together and like actually tell each other what they found out, and it like all makes sense. So that hasn't happened yet because I'm only like 20% through. Yeah, I'm like this far through. Oh my gosh. But yeah, me and my friend are totally like freaking out about it. She has a lot of theories, or like she's a lot more like versed in the theory world of stuff, and so she's like telling me all these theories, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Man, Sarah J Maas puts in Easter eggs, and like there's a lot of details that she has like prepared from the get-go. I appreciate when there are people out there that are willing to like do a deep dive and be like, oh my gosh, there's these old details that she hid and stuff, because I don't do that. I just kind of read it and enjoy it. So it's kind of nice to have someone to be like, that's actually knowledgeable on the lore and all that stuff. But I'm gonna do my buddy read for the day, so I'm gonna get kind of far, and then after that I think I'm gonna start on the Hawthorne Legacy, because I do have Two Twisted Crowns that I would really like to read, but I feel like it would be kind of a welcome break from fantasy, maybe a little bit, so I wouldn't be so overwhelmed with all the fantastical elements. Yeah, so I think I'm going to read that if I have more time today. I'm not so sure because it's Friday today, and I'm a little bit busy usually on Friday because I have to stop reading kind kind of early because every Friday from 4 onward is with people and socializing with family and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna keep on reading from this one. And oh boy, there's such crazy things happening. Wait, what? Oh my gosh, this is why I love these books. There are so many reveals. It's not even close to the end, but there's so many little reveals along the way. There's never a dull moment. Oh my gosh. Dude, what the heck? The things that are revealed about people's pasts. If you've read the book, chapter 39, chapter 38 and 39 have a lot of backstory. The end of chapter 39, bro, what? This is literally my face looking at the page. I'm so... I need explanations. This book is wild. Why does every freaking chapter end with a cliffhanger? This is not good for my sleep schedule. I've been staying up way too late reading these books. This isn't fair. I need answers immediately. Guys, check it out. Wow, I have 500 subscribers now. I am so excited about this. I have almost 1,000, or I'm halfway to 1,000. That's very exciting. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This stupid book has been monopolizing all of my reading time. I am not kidding. This is literally just turning into a House of Flame and Shadow reading vlog when it was not supposed to be. Should I just go ahead and make a spoiler? No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Guys, look at how far I am. Whoa, this book is gargantuan. I would say I am 3/4 of the way through, so we're almost done. Dude, I cannot express to you how freaking much is happening in this book. Why and how. Like, there's so many details about this world. I feel like the world building gets stretched out throughout the entire series. Like, it's usually with fantasy worlds, you usually figure out like the basic stuff or just like most of the stuff that you need to know in like the first 50 pages or so. And in this, it's such an intricate world that you just keep on discovering the lore and keep on discovering the history and all that because it's all relevant to the story and the plot. Because there's like things about the past that like are affecting the present, and even just the way that the world came to be is like important. And so there's so much information, not to mention the amount of characters that we're following. So it makes sense that it's this chonky because there's a lot of ground to cover and a lot of POVs to talk about and a lot of conversations and dialogue to be had and a lot of emotional things to talk about. And like, I mean, like usually when you look at a book like this, it's like, what do they have to say? And then you read it and you're like, oh, that makes sense. So, and I'm so nervous because a staple of Sarah J. Maas books, especially in this series, all of the endings have been so wild. So wild. And so I am bracing myself. Let me tell you, I am scared. I am sweating. I am not even flipping because I'm afraid I'll come across something that will be a gigantic plot twist or whatever. So, a lot with that. But this has definitely been monopolizing my time, my reading time at least. I've not been reading anything else. Literally, I've just been reading this. I've been like, you know, doing other stuff, but yeah, this has just been taking up a lot of my time, especially yesterday. I read like 150 pages. I read like this much yesterday. That might not look like a lot, but with this book and how dense it is and how like the words are packed onto the page and stuff, that was a lot. It took me hours. So usually it's a little bit easier to like skim read, or not skim read, just like speed read, you know, like it's easy to digest the information faster. But with this, you really have to digest the information thoroughly because it's so complicated, and so it takes me a long time to read these kinds of books. And so I'm nowhere near, I mean, I am near the ending now, but like it's still kind of a while away. And so yeah, we are trucking through it, but I am loving it because I love these characters, I love this world, this universe, the magic system. There's so many things that are being uncovered that I'm freaking out about. Like, I actually care about this. Like, there is enough buildup for me to realize, oh, that's a big deal, like that we just discovered something giant. And so I am excited about this. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, every chapter, I don't even understand. Like, every chapter ends in some kind of cliffhanger. I'm just like, how is there this much excitement to be had? I don't get it. So anyway, I'm loving this book. I guess my critiques that I have with it are kind of specific, and so I don't want to really talk about them. It's mainly just like issues I have with some of the characters and how they act, and maybe a little bit of the values. I usually like values in Sarah J Maas books, but there's a few things that I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. So those are my only critiques though. None of it is like, I hate that. That is despicable. So I'm having none of those emotions, and I'm glad about that. But yeah, they're all Sarah J Maas books just have a special place in my heart. So I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. Since I'm buddy reading it, I don't want to just keep on reading because I'm at the point now where me and my friend are caught up, and I want to keep reading, but I probably won't do that much because I don't want to get too ahead. So if I'm in danger of that, then I will pick up the Hawthorne Legacy, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that because I just kind of want to spend all my reading time on this. So yeah, but I'll keep updating you guys. I kind of want to go dance because, surprise, surprise, I actually really love dancing, and I've been using K-pop choreographies to help me practice, and so I might do that. I have a little makeshift dance room set up where I just have like a mirror, so I might go do that with the rest of my time before dinner because it is evening now. Also, I just got Instagram, and I've never had Instagram before, and I feel like a granny figuring all this stuff out. Like, I really have no idea what I'm doing, so that's fun. But if you want, you can follow me on Instagram. I can put the handle or whatever somewhere here. I think it's Sydney Pryor 1, so if you want to follow me, you can do that, I guess. I haven't posted like anything yet because I don't know what people post on Instagram. I literally don't. This is like my first social media besides YouTube, but YouTube is a little bit different than Instagram. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go dance, learn some more choreography, practice a little bit, but maybe tonight I will have more reading time. And if so, I feel like a lot of things are about to go down, so I am concerned. But we'll wait till then to be freaking out. We are neck deep in the action right now. I'm so close to the end. That's upside down. I am here. Okay? And I knew, okay, that this is what happens in Sarah J Maas books, but so much is happening, and I'm terrified. There are too many characters that I care about that are in the line of fire right now, and I do not like it. I am so terrified, bro. Like, I can't even tell you. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be fine. None of them are gonna die. It's fine. Like, I'm seriously wondering if there's gonna be another book in this series. Like, I wonder how this is gonna be wrapped up. If it's gonna feel like a finale, if it's gonna be like a big cliffhanger like there was in the last book. I'm so scared. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna keep on reading, but I'm gonna be like looking at the pages like this. Like, I can't. I'm scared. Anyway, hold my hand. Let's go! What? I'm so freaking stressed. This book is gonna take years off of my life, I swear. No way. Oh. Oh, I'm tearing up. Why is this so cute? This is so sweet. I didn't know I felt this much for this person. Oh. I can't read if I'm crying. Oh my gosh. I knew this book was gonna make me cry at some point. This is stupid, but that was beautiful. I can't read if I'm crying. Only Sarah J Maas can do this to me with her stupid, lovable characters. Ugh, finished. Wow, all these books are always such a journey, and when they end, it's like, I don't know what to do with my life. Wow. Well, it seems to me that that is the end of the trilogy. It might be like an ACOTAR situation where there's an original trilogy and then there's gonna be add-ons about like different characters and stuff, but that seems pretty much like a finale to me. Oh my gosh. I don't know how to rate books like these. How can I not give it 5 stars? I just don't. I have such a hard time processing. Read it, basically. Just read it. Ugh, so freaking much. Dude, I cried so hard at that part. That hit me. That hit me in the feels, okay? You cannot blame me. Yeah, well, I don't want the vlog to end yet, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and read The Hawthorne Legacy. I need to go somewhere tonight, so I'm probably not gonna read it tonight, but I'll read it tomorrow so I can take you guys along with me as I'm doing that. But that was just beautiful. I have no words. Okay, so I'm about to start Hawthorne Legacy. Before I do that, I'm like realizing some things that I actually didn't love about House of Flame and Shadow. I'm not gonna go into detail right now. I think I'm going to put a little spoiler section at the end of this video for my spoiler thoughts on this book. So you don't have to worry about that. I'll cut that out right now, so there will be no spoilers. But just so you know, if you've read this book and you want to know my spoiler thoughts, just stay to the end and I will have a little section there. Alright, so I've made a little bit of headway through the book. I would say I'm about a quarter of the way through. So this is book 2 in the Inheritance Game series, if you do not know already, which basically follows this girl as she discovers that she inherited this billionaire's inheritance. And there's a whole lot of mystery solving. There's like a bunch of people that are in this family. It's called the Hawthorne family. That's why it's the Hawthorne Legacy. And so there's a bunch of like games and mysteries going on. It reminds me of the Westing game, because the Westing game is also about a really rich dude that like had a mystery surrounding his inheritance and will and stuff like that. So it kind of reminded me of that, of how this dead guy, even though he's dead, is like 1,000 steps ahead of everyone else and like has planned all this stuff out, and like everyone else has to piece it together. So it's really cool. I like it. I like the vibes, and so far I'm kind of enjoying the mystery in this one a little bit better than the first book, which like might change. I don't know, but so far it's just like making more sense or something. It has me more intrigued. Also, we kind of have gotten to know the characters a little bit better so far, so I'm a little bit more invested in them and know more about them, because I'm doing a little bit less of discovery and a little bit more of finding out more about the characters we already know. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to meet new characters, it's just you're discovering more about those characters they already know about, and I kind of like that. So, like, there's a whole lot of mysteries surrounding, like, everyone's parentage. So, we're always discovering something about that and who we're actually related to and just things like that, so that's kind of funny. There's also a love triangle in this, and that's one of the staples of the series. And there's one person that I'm thinking she's gonna end up with, and I don't want to say who that is because I don't want to spoil it. If I do read the last book and I'm like, oh, I was right, then, like, that would spoil it. But there is one person that I'm kind of like, I feel like just the vibe that he gives off makes me feel like he's going to end up with her. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she ends up with one of them, because there's like 4 brothers that are like the grandsons of the guy that died, and 2 of them are like love interests, like potential love interests for the main character. So that's always interesting scenes when they're involved, and they're kind of like, they're also kind of trying to solve the mysteries that Avery, the main character, is trying to solve, and so there's always like some kind of competition or like whatever. They're all geniuses, they're all super smart, and they all have a stake in it. They all have a horse in the race, if you will. Yeah, very interesting, very intriguing, and also very fast read, because like the chapters are super small and it just makes you want to keep on reading. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, super easy to keep on reading, especially because I'm reading this right after a fat info dumpy fantasy book, so it's kind of nice to read something that's like in our world that's easier to understand. So yeah, it's a welcome relief from a huge fantasy book, but I'm probably gonna go right back to fantasy after this because I just like it. So fun fact, the first time I read the Inheritance games, when I read the first book of the Inheritance games, I thought it was fantasy just because these covers look kind of fantasy-ish, so that was embarrassing. I just really like to go in blind, and sometimes that means not even knowing the genre, so that's great. Yep, I'm just gonna keep on reading. I might end the vlog today or tomorrow, so this is going to be the last, one of the last little clips that I take, but it's been a ride for sure, reading House of Flame and Shadow and just going around this week doing some cooking and other stuff that I didn't film because I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'll get better at this whole reading vlog thing. I do not usually have it as a habit to film everything I do, so I'll try to get better at that, I guess. I also just got an Instagram for the first time and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I have to like take a video of like everything that I'm doing and like post it to my story or something. Like, is that how it works? I don't know. I'm learning. But anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna keep on reading this book. It's really good, so yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the vlog right now. So in this vlog, I read these 2 books. And this book definitely took me a while, but yeah, I ended up finishing The Hawthorne Legacy, and just some quick thoughts on the ending and things like that. Overall, I think I liked it a little bit better than the first book. It had me a little bit more interested in finding out the mystery and all that. We found out a lot more about people's parentages, and I mentioned that before. That's always interesting, and it definitely kept me on my toes. I thought I knew what was going on, and then something happened that made me like, what? I totally was convinced about this one thing. So that was pretty crazy to experience. The romance is kind of budding, and she like kind of chooses at the end of this book who she's like gonna be with, and I feel like I don't know if that's gonna be endgame though, and so I'm gonna be interested to see what's gonna happen there, because I feel like maybe the author is gonna give her like time with both guys, like just a little bit time where she's like with both of them. I don't know, but I feel like she is gonna give like both of them a chance because she likes them both like kind of equally. I know that there's one that I'm kind of favoring, but I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna end up with him. We'll see. Also, that climax was pretty good. I feel like that climax definitely had me second guessing. There were a lot of really cool mysteries in here, and like riddles and things like that. Clues left behind. Yeah, I have more questions, and so I'm glad that there is another book in this series to maybe answer some of those questions, because yeah, you can only say so much in so few pages. It's also a very quick read because the chapters are so short, and so there's a lot of like empty places. So I felt like I could just speed through it. It only took me a couple days to read it. Yeah, that was really nice. Those other books that I mentioned at the beginning I'm gonna get to at some point, but this week I was just mainly focused on House of Flame and Shadow, which is such a good book. So for the rating on this, I would probably say 4-star. I think I gave the first one like 3.5, and maybe this one's a little bit more, so I'll say 4-star. Yeah, 4.5-star for this one because I still had a lot of issues with it, but it's just so hard not to give it a high rating because it's so like, there's just so much in it, so many characters, so many emotions. I cried my eyes out. It's just such an intricate world. I just feel like I can't give it lower than 4.5, so that's why I gave it that rating. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up. Yeah, thank you guys for coming along with me this week as I read 2 really good books. So yeah, I'll just see you guys next time and whenever I decide to make. See y'all. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna give this book a 4.5 because last night I was totally riding on the emotions of the ending, and it just was such a culmination, and it was so epic and all that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to give it 5 stars. I feel this way. But I've since stepped back, slept on it, and I'm just realizing some things that I didn't love. First and foremost, I feel like I don't love Hunt and Bryce's relationship. I just feel like the power dynamics are very imbalanced, and also the fact that Hunt is like nothing without Bryce. I'm like, he had an opportunity to have like his own thing while Bryce was gone, but the whole time he was in the dungeon, all he was doing was thinking about Bryce and getting back to Bryce, which is understandable because of the situation that he was in. He was like trying to avoid insanity and all that, but he never had an opportunity to really come into his own and become his own character. And I just feel like, what is his personality? Like, when I try to think of his personality, I'm just like, oh, he's, you know, he's a buff guy, and he's very whipped for Bryce. Like, that's, I don't really know what else there is. I feel like the first book did such a better job at his character than this. I feel like he's just kind of like downgraded as Bryce is upgraded, and so there's just like no meeting in the middle. It was just like Hunt was here, and then there was Bryce, and then it just went like this. And now Bryce is like up here and Hunt is like down there, you know, if you can picture that graph. That's how I'm feeling about that. And just the fact that he turned down an opportunity to rule the angels because he didn't want to spend time away from Bryce. I'm like, that's your only reason for not doing that? But you're like qualified for the job. You're like, you'd probably be a good leader, but no, he would be spending time away from Bryce. It doesn't matter that Bryce is still going to be spending time away from him because she has the Fae to rule. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't... I don't love it. There's a lot of loose ends, and so I can see that she is kind of setting up for the possibility of more books in the future, probably in quite a few years, because she still has other projects that she's working on. So there's gonna be an ACOTAR book coming out like next year or something. I don't know when. So there's like a lot of romances that I'm excited to see end up happening, because Perry and Ethan seemed like they were starting a thing. Varian and Zathia were actually like surprisingly cool together. I kind of like the trope of a marriage of convenience or like forced marriage, and then they end up actually falling in love for each other. That's kind of cute. I don't know. I kind of like that trope, and so if that ended up happening, that would be kind of fun. Also, with how cool they seemed when they were like talking to the Ocean Queen, and how Sathia was like really cool and convincing and stuff, and Therian was like, oh, she's actually cool. I was like, that would be neat. But there are so many freaking plot twists in this book. I don't even know where to start. So like my review is gonna be so incomplete, but how Bryce started out in Prythian and found out all those things about the truth, the ancestors, and how they came over from Prythian and all that, how they just like killed the humans and all that. That was crazy. I feel like I wish there was more time in Prythian, to be quite honest. It felt a little bit clickbaity to have that as the cliffhanger and then have only the first little bit be in Prythian and then only one little bit in the end too. I wanted her to interact with everyone. I wanted her to interact with Feyre and Rysand. There was a little bit of Rysand interaction, but not a lot, and it was mostly with Nesta and Azriel, who are great, but it was like only them, and it wasn't in Prythian, or it didn't feel like it was in Prythian. It was just in these caves. And so I was like, I kind of wish that she was able to like experience that. I think the reason is that when Sarah J Maas writes more ACOTAR stuff, she doesn't want the fingerprints of Crescent City to be too bad. Like, she doesn't want it to be too obvious. I think that's the reasoning behind that. It was spent in a place that was away from the people, in the caves. It was like she took the mask in Truth Teller, but then she gave them back by the end of the book. And so I feel like the fingerprints aren't going to be that crazy. I think the biggest fingerprint might be like Ember and Randall spending some time there, which is adorable. I love that. So I think that might be the biggest like effect. But if the next book is not from Nessa's perspective, which I don't think it will be, I don't think that much will be said in reference to the Crescent City crossover in the next ACOTAR book. I think that was the reasoning behind that. But I loved Ethan's like rise to power. How that was so insane when he killed Sigrid. I was like, what's happening? And he's like, I need to resurrect her, and I'm like, that never goes well. And then he tried, and now she's a Reaper, which is another loose end that I'm like, what is gonna happen there? She's evil now. She freaking killed well, she didn't kill the Prime, but she sucked out his soul, which is crazy. But anyway, I love that Ethan was able to become Prime and that he was able to become a leader, because I feel like he'll do a good job. And so that, and how he like killed Sabine, finally, I'm like, freaking, she deserves to die. If anyone deserves it, well, there's a lot of butts in this universe. There's a whole lot, and Sabine was one of them, so I'm glad that she got dealt with. Same with the Autumn King. He was a big butt that got dealt with. Same with that other king, Cormac's dad. I forget his name. Morven or something? Marvin the Fae King. I'm glad that he got killed as well, because they were all butts. I was just like, okay, good. All the butts are being dealt with. No more butts in this universe, please. Therion is just going around pissing off every queen that he can. So funny. And then Rune and Lydia. Day and night. I was so for that ship in the last book, and I'm glad that, I mean, it started out like they didn't like each other, and I was like, oh my gosh, can you please get together? And then they got together, but then they just became like the definition of not the right time. Like every time that they like hooked up or like had a steamy moment, it was like, here? Really? Now? Okay. I mean, this is interesting. So that was funny. And then Rune like shot her. I was like, if you guys are mates, that's kind of crazy. Imagine like intentionally harming your mate like that. I don't know. So I definitely liked them better in the second book. Oh, they were so cute in the second book. I shipped them so hard, and I still do. Don't get me wrong. But oh my gosh, and the plot twist of like, I think I filmed that, me being like so gobsmacked by that. The end of chapter 39, bro, what? Lydia having sons. I was like, what? There was like no build up to that. There was like no like hinting at it. Maybe there was, and I just have to go read back. But there was no hinting at that. And so I was like, it was so out of left field. I was like, oh, she has brothers? Oh, she has sons? Who was the father? Another loose end. I need to know. It's not Pollux. We already confirmed that. So it's like, another confirmation? The Throne of Glass world is canon. It exists in this universe. Oh my gosh, I was like, when it was first revealed that from like the astral projection or whatever that thing was, I forget her name, but the Helena's sister, Thea's daughter, like that person, when Bryce was getting all that information and she was saying that there was another Fae that crossed over that could transform into animals, and they had elongated canines and all this stuff, that I was like, this sounds like Throne of Glass. And then when Ethan took the antidote and he had elemental powers, I was like, And then when the Under King was saying that Erd was another way to say word, and I was like, what? So I'm like, this is confirmed. Lydia is descended from Brannon, and she has fire powers, just like Aelin. I'm like, dude. Throne of Glass, if you didn't know, is one of my all-time favorite series in the universe. My favorite Moss universe, my favorite Moss series. So I was just like, oh yes, please, can we please have some crossover action? But I don't know if that's gonna happen, because I don't know, I think we may have exhausted the crossover excitement. I'm not sure. She might be making another Throne of Glass book. I don't know. That would be insane. That'd be crazy. I don't know if I want that necessarily, because I feel like everyone got such a good ending, and it already ended like so long ago. So I don't know if I want that. At least one that follows the other characters. Maybe if there was like another story in that universe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I just don't want Aelin to go through anything else. So anyway, this book was great. Probably gonna be a 4.5 because I was just gobsmacked way too many times to give it anything less. But then I had a few too many problems with it to give it 5 stars. And so yeah, I think that's gonna be my final rating. But that ends my spoiler section. So if you watched till the end, thank you so much for still watching the spoiler section, and very grateful for you. Very grateful for you. Please like and subscribe and tell me what you thought of House of Sky and that's not what it's called. House of Flame and Shadow. Yeah, tell me what you thought of it and tell me if you agree or disagree. I am very interested. Make sure you have warnings that if you're gonna say any spoilers, make sure you warn everyone because I don't want anyone to be spoiled for this beauty. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye y'all.